What happened,
Hello viewers, and welcome back to And Why Not with the Cornish Kohli.
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
We've produced a number 2.
We have produced very good, very good. Yeah, didn't even plan that. Yeah, with Cornish Kohli and me, Dallen. Well, it's early. It's Happy New Year and all that. And
yeah, we've survived Christmas, and we've not been taken off the airwaves.
We haven't been taken off the airwaves, despite the disgusting pictures or images of you urinating all over Surrey.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, last time. Anyway,
yeah, enough of that. I think Dan, there's only one place to start this week. Given we're now 3-0 down, the Ashes.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
What the?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've got a lot of thoughts on this. We haven't spoken about this, but the Ashes, I haven't really watched it. Right, I haven't watched anything really, which almost means that I'm not really qualified to talk about it. But I did woke up early this morning about 4ish, put the old radio on, and it was bloody good. It was Stokes and Bairstow were Stokes was smacking it around,
making a stand for once,
and it was the old classic. They were both sort of injured, weren't they? Bairstow had busted his thumb or something, and Stokes had done a side strain, and
they sound like Codgers.
Yeah, well, they're brilliant. They're doing it for the Codgers. And of course, you had the old Gordon Greenwich thing back in the 70s and early 80s. If he was injured, he was going to get a double ton. Yeah. And it concentrates the mind.
Indeed.
I'm kind of heartened by that.
It was heartening, although it's all a little bit too much, too late for me. Yeah. But there's a thousand things we could talk about the Ashes.
Yes.
Let's start at the beginning, if we may.
Yes.
Selection at the Gabba was disgraceful.
Well, yeah. Why you don't pick your best bowler in your first
match
in
an overcast
day is in any day.
In any day. And suggest they're protecting Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah,
for the next test. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, we go to Adelaide. And the attack we should have had, or the team we should have, should have been reversed, and all that.
Yeah.
And suddenly we get to, where is it now? Melbourne?
No, it's Sydney.
It's Sydney now.
So Melbourne was third. So
Melbourne, we go 3-0 down. With a side that perhaps, but it's just been dreadful. And I look at, some of the arguments about, well, how does county cricket now feed into the test team? Yeah,
I mean, my thoughts on that, and I thought about this long and hard actually in the last sort of few hours after watching it this morning, knowing that you wanted to talk about the Ashes Star. I thought, I better do a little bit of thinking, and I think that you've got to look at history. And teams have always lost 4 or 5-0 throughout history, and it doesn't mean and other teams, and it doesn't mean that you've got to completely unpick everything that's going on. And I think casting the blame on county cricket, I think is a bit of a scapegoat.
Yeah, I'm defending county cricket.
Yeah. No, I'm not. What I want to do is disconnect county cricket from the woeful performance of a valid test side. Yeah. I don't think that there's such an enormous gulf between the two sides as 4 or 5-0 might suggest. They are better than us. It's their home turf. Yeah. They usually do better than us when they're at strength. But we've underperformed, as you rightly say, strategically and decision making. We've just made mistake after mistake. And then you're kind of behind the 8 ball then, and then you're trying to play catch up, and then mistakes creep in. So I don't think 3-0 / 4-0 is a fair reflection of the sides on paper.
Yep. Well, I think
we've messed it up.
There's a couple of things also about county cricket. One is the England team. They're not playing county cricket.
They don't play county cricket.
So, where's the correlation between their ability to play county cricket and then feeding to English teams? And the other thing I thought about was,
perhaps they should play more county cricket.
Well, here's my defence of county cricket. County cricket has been sidelined for the sake of white ball and short format cricket. So it's subsequently at the start and the end of the season.
Playing the cold and the rain.
It's playing the cold and the rain. Where you kind of argue as a batsman, certainly, it's more difficult to play and bat, I think, in those conditions than it is to bat in Australia when it's 30 degrees and you're playing on a road.
Yeah, although you find it difficult to bat in any condition.
There's that.
Latterly.
But that's not to do with my eyes. But my point is this, viewer, that if county players are playing in difficult batting conditions, when they play in good ones, like test arenas around the world, it should be a lot bloody easier. Well, they're not used to it is one thing, but they're out there training and practising enough in those conditions that I don't think we should criticise county cricket for not producing test batsmen. I mean, we produce test bowlers good enough. I think our bowling attack is on level terms with Australia.
I agree apart from the spin, but
the spin division is a little bit different. Although I don't see Nathan Lyon, despite being, I don't know, third or fourth best.
Yeah, you'd see him all over the place, wouldn't you?
There's always
there's always
the walk back to the pavilion. But I don't think for 1 minute that county cricket should be blamed for the position England find themselves.
No, I don't think so at all.
There's other things at play here.
I saw. We'll ask you those in a minute. But I saw a piece about a system that allows someone like Darren Stevens to get at age 45 to have a bowling average under 20. It's like he's a bloody good bowler.
Get him in the test side.
Well, there is that. He runs as well, but he's a bloody good pro. And yes, okay, he performs well in county cricket, but as you just said, the test guys don't play county cricket.
But Jimmy Anderson, 39 years old. Where's the new Jimmy Anderson? Because there ain't one.
I mean, I like Ollie Robertson. He's
for sure. But
and he's young. Jimmy Anderson wasn't great at the start. Took him a few years.
That's true. So, I just feel that it's the old enemy again, and we've got stuff 3-0. I don't think the Australians are even interested in the Ashes series now.
I wouldn't have thought so.
There's 28,000 there.
There's only so much you can do gloating and
exactly. So it's a bit of a rant, folks. But I kind of think that the test series that we're looking at the moment, it doesn't lend itself to me and you staying up watching it.
Well, because
we haven't for one thing. We wake up at odd hours because we're codgers.
You
do that.
You've probably got to go and do your count in the toilet.
That's right. I've got a better count than any of the England top 4.
Better average,
23. So I wake up in the middle of the night and put the cricket on the iPad, and you think, what part of the game am I watching now? When I turned it off, England were bowling, and now we're who's batting? Because Bearstone and Stokes. What's happened?
They have green caps.
I know all that. But what has happened in that 3 hours from when I said goodnight?
Every game we're just chasing it. We're just trying to.
And when you look at some of those odd stats about, I think this year, extras are 4th highest. In averages for us.
I thought we were better than that, but it's terrible.
It's terrible.
And then there's the Root thing. Now, I don't think Root is a great captain, but he's a great player, and he's done his fair share. And it's why you can't blame the captain for the other players. Not,
and he's maintained his level of performance by the album. Exactly. And to be honest, it makes headlines when he fails as a batsman. But I think 2 things about Root. One is he's an ECB type of guy. He's good in front of the cameras. And he'll toe the party line and say all the right things.
We should get him on here. What do you think?
He's not
Joe, do you fancy it? Oh no, you're right.
This is not old enough. Funny and entertaining, and media worthy. We love Joe Root, but I stood up next to him, by the way.
Did you?
A lot, and I can say this, but a lot taller than you'd think. And I can say that of most people. Joe Root, I thought was about 5'9", 5'10".
Right.
He's a 6-footer.
Is he?
Joe Root?
Yeah.
What's the other one? Steve Smith. Again, not as tall as Joe Root, but a lot taller than I thought. David Warner was a bit taller than me.
Oh, he's a right short, I said.
But he's, but that's another story. So we can talk all day about the Test series, but I just think that it dips into another aspect of what I've listened to, and this kind of goes into a Codger rant.
A Codger rant.
Is Codger rant the right way of saying it?
Well, I mean, you might say Roger Cant if you wanted to do spoonerisms.
Viewer, we're going into a Roger Cant now.
A Roger Cant. Oh, talking to spoonerisms, have I told you my Kenny Everett story?
Spoonerism.
Yeah. No. So do you remember Kenny Everett? Viewers, I'm sure many of you will remember.
Well, there might be a little
Kenny Everett
clip below.
Yeah, maybe if I can find it. But Stephen Fry tells this wonderful story about there was a character, the bearded lady sort of in drag, crossing his legs and stuff, and going all done in the best possible taste. And her name was Cupid Stunt. Now, of course, you spoonerism that one, and you get cut off. But the guys, it ran for 2 series, and the guys at the BBC, someone tipped them off after 2 seasons. They didn't get it, and they called Kenny Everett in. And they said, "Oh, Kenny, this Cupid Stunt character, we can't have that. We just worked out what it's all about. You've got to change that." So he said, "Oh, terribly sorry. Give me 48 hours. I'll come back to you with an alternative." And he came back a couple of days later and said, I've got it, cracked it. Mary Hinge. And they said, that's absolutely fine. That's fine. On we go. Anyway, sorry, Lars, to hijack your Roger Cant.
Well, so my Roger for this week is that listening to the cricket particularly, more recently, but sports commentary in general, oh my goodness.
God, isn't it dire?
It's awful. Yeah. And I think they've cornered themselves, the commentators, because they got no higher ceiling to go to. So anything that happens is now amazing or brilliant, and a shot, or in cricketing terms, that's just an off drive, which we let's be frank, we can all do.
Yeah. Well, I can't, but yeah.
You know what I mean. Yeah. But it turns into some fantastic event that you shouldn't miss. But there's other aspects to this. I was watching one of the test matches and England bowled badly. We were chasing about 450, went out to bat with an hour left. I think it was at Adelaide,
right? And
one of the commentators turned to the co-commentator and said, what's going on in their minds now as they walk out to the middle to open the batting. And this commentator, no names, no pack drill, I have to say the gender, because it was a lady that said it, and I got nothing against men or women commentators, it's not about that. She said,
unlike Derek.
Indeed, that's another series. But Del, you always get a mention in this. But as they were walking out, this lady said, so as they approach the track, they've got to own their own innings now.
What does that mean?
And I thought, what the hell does that mean? So it got me kind of thinking about other things that sports commentators say. And one of the things that gets me so annoyed is when a player in football manages to kind of wiggle himself and get a bit of space and takes a shot, and the co-commentator often says he had no right to take that shot then, as if it's some kind of legal precedent that we're on about. And then subsequently, and our viewers will have a view on this, but the co-commentator now, all they do is state the bleeding obvious. I would have thought that...
Can you crank up your rant a bit more? I want you a bit more angry.
Well, I'm getting there.
Sorry.
I would have thought this. 2 things. One is the commentator should just say, what's going on? Tell me what's going on.
Or say something intelligent that other people might not have thought of.
That's what I thought these co-commentators were paid big bucks for.
Right.
I want them to tell me something technical, some aspect of the game that I'd never thought of.
An insight.
Because they're there as some kind of expert. They don't do it at all.
No.
And the last bit of this is media training for sports people. Jesus Christ.
What's all that about?
It's bland, flaccid.
Well, they're all taught to, it's lowest common denominator. They're taught to appeal to the biggest audience possible, which, the bigger the audience you want, the sort of more down you've got to be.
Assume a low level.
It's just the way it is. I mean, if you go back to our day, Codger,
when it was so much Codger.
Well, exactly. But you had to work it a little bit, and you didn't have sort of ex-sportsmen just out of their sport coming on and getting a paid gig. You had people who were broadcasters first and
journalists
first and foremost. So they were absolutely on top of their game. They had to be. They'd been writing for years, and then they got into radio a lot. You've got to be on the money in radio.
But that kind of leads me partially then to say, on the channel for Sanderson Cricket Club, Dan, you film every week, and you regularly get very praiseworthy comments about your style of commentary. So what brought you to where you are with your... Who influenced you?
Yeah, I mean, I often think about this. It's a kind of an accident, really. It just happened. I didn't do anything consciously, but I believe that because of the people that I listened to and watched from the sort of 70s onwards, they just sort of seeped in, you know.
Yeah.
So it
take a bit of
it would be, you know, Benno was my great influence, and in fact 6 More Like a 9 was a Benno from the 81 Ashes. I've sort of shamelessly nicked it ever since, and just other personalities. I mean, they didn't have to be cricket commentators, but Benno Gower, of course, has got that sort of dry, laconic thing, which I sort of try and do, but I don't do it on purpose. It just comes out. And Peter Allis, who I love his sort of dry little asides, and those that I do come from him, and the sort of sometimes a little bit cheeky, you know, swings swings it both ways and the ball. I mean that's classic Alice. So it just sort of comes out that way, really.
But I think significantly, if I was to commentate as much as you do, at some point I would offend somebody, not intentionally, of course, but you've got this great ability.
Well, I try to.
All the hours that you've done, it's funny, amusing, informative.
Yeah,
there's never anything that.
I'll make 2 points on that. One is that I am quite conscious of it when I'm talking, but the second is I edit it too.
Oh, so, you know,
I have been on occasions completely unable to hold back what I want to say. I've said things which would probably have me in all sorts of trouble, and I've sorted those out in the edit room. Indeed. And I'm not going to say what they are. Although I'll tell you what,
there could be a bloopers.
But then that's why we need to put it. We can put it behind a sort of paywall. We could start up an OnlyFans account. What do you think, viewers?
Oh my goodness!
Shall we start an OnlyFans account to see the stuff that that you need to pay to?
Perhaps we should have this is inappropriate now, but an attractive young lady here at the same time. That would help, wouldn't it?
Oh, we've gone down a dark alley there.
Oh, is it? You can't say that stuff.
You can say it. But
already I've done it. There's my point.
Very good. No, I like that. That's a good rant, and I completely agree with you. And it's not just cricket; it's all sports, as you right. So it's because the takeover of sport by telly and money. Indeed. Unfortunately.
Well, there you are, viewers. That was we dipped from Ashes to commentary to ranting, and we even met Cupid Stunt.
We did. Well done. Yeah, splendid. Right. Well, I think we'll park it there, and we'll see you after the break. Yeah. Work's never done, is it? Anyway, here we go.
So Dan, here we are again. I just want to kind of take us back to the last one we've done. Yeah. There's some great comments from our correspondents.
We did. Thanks, viewers. We made a lot to get.
Indeed, and one or two of them were quite praiseworthy as well. But interestingly, more abuse. We'll take more abuse, by the way.
Well, yeah.
But interestingly, quite a few seem to be quite attuned to your musical taste.
Yeah, and why not?
And why not? And so the introduction of Porcupine Tree.
Yes.
And Opeth.
Yeah.
By the way,
a couple of nice, beautiful.
This is real life. This is Dan's, chateau of music here. So we thought maybe, viewer, it would be worth just including music a bit more, talking a bit more about it, and some of the comments we got kind of edged us toward thinking, well, Dan, you're the music man here. Can we talk about your album of the week?
Well, I mean, we thought that, a sort of little regular feature. And so, album of the week, we're going to do it every week, there'll be one. Because these are my vinyls and all down here as well. And then I've got loads of things all over. And I've picked out a special one, really. It's the first album I ever bought by the first band that I ever saw live. Leicester de Montfort Hall, back in sometime in 1978. I think I've got the ticket stub somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already guessed, viewers,
it's not Kid Creole and the Coconuts.
No, it's not. It's BUZZCOCKS.
Right. Not the BUZZCOCKS.
No, BUZZCOCKS.
Yes.
And this is their second album, Love Bites. It's a wonderful album. And I was a 14-year-old kid, went to the shop and bought it myself in I think something like Ainsley's Revolver Records in Leicester. Great thing going into record shops. I mean,
it's tactile, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's coming back. But anyway, it's a great album. They're a great band, full of wonderful pop songs. The most sort of poppy punk, The most famous will be Falling in Love.
Falling in Love with Someone.
Yeah, my personal favourite from here is probably Late for the Train. It's a showcase for the drummer. Anyway, that's so there we are. BUZZCOCKS, Love Bites. Not necessarily one of my favourite albums, but it's got a special place in my heart because it's the first one.
Indeed, and we've all got one of those. Don't remember how much you paid for it.
Oh, good question. I'm just what's coming to my head straight away is £2.49.
Yeah, because it would have been, unlike my first album, which was Pinky and Perky and their Top of the Pops Christmas combo.
But did you go and buy it?
No, Mum and Dad.
Well, I could.
Well, I suppose you've got.
I've got A Visit to Trumpton. If you want to go back to that.
Next week, folks. I think it's the album of the week. Is A Visit to Trumpton.
Yeah.
But my first one was, of course, pre-decimal.
Yeah.
But you £2.49 for an album.
I think it was. Yeah.
How much does an album cost now?
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, because a lot of them bring out sort of. You get something like this. It's double vinyl, white vinyl.
Yeah.
22 quid, 24 quid.
Really?
Yeah. But if you shop around, if you go to the right places, Amazon is actually the cheapest place to get it from. It comes at you in a proper package. You can get sort of normal albums for sort of 17, 18 quid, but it's not cheap.
And just going back to that, you get at home when you examine every aspect of the album.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Play it. Was it hounded?
Exactly. I mean, I've got. This isn't album of the week, but I'm just as an example. That is Black Sabbath's Paranoid, right? Their greatest work. Most people would agree. I bought this for 50p in cheapo records in Soho in London.
Goodness.
And it hasn't got it in a sleeve. It's a first edition, but it's not worth anything. And it crackles, right? You put it on and it's crackly. It sounds like there's fire going on in the background. When I bought the CD of it and put the CD on, I didn't like it because the crackles weren't there. So it's things like that. Yeah. Things like that. It's just
it's got a life of its own.
It's a romance.
I used to. Some of those things, you'd have the lyrics in there, but then the tiny small print was always quite interesting. You could learn a bit, unlike today, you just go on YouTube or Wikipedia and you find out everything. Yeah. But you had to kind of do investigative work.
Yeah, absolutely.
To find out about that.
The harder you work at something, the more you enjoy it. There you go, you can have that.
Brilliant. All good. I think we've hit gold here, Dan.
Well, I think so. Well, I obviously
Next week. Can it be Kid Creole and the Coconuts?
Probably not. It won't be Steve Miller Band.
It won't be Steve Miller. Oh, I did see in concert, by the way.
Did you?
But that's for another episode, I reckon.
Okay, yeah.
Brilliant. All good. By the way, viewers, a quick list. Who's your first?
Yes, your first album. Yeah. Yes, tell us your first album. The first you ever bought.
And the bar is set low at Pinky and Perky's Top of the Pops Christmas 1968, I reckon. Yeah. Fantastic.
I love it.
Well done, Dan. That was lovely.
Super. Thank you, mate. Enjoy.
Look, I see my procurement people as trying to get us the best deal possible. And from what I'm hearing from you, that's not what you can do. So I'll tell you what, we'll outsource it to someone else and we'll get someone in who can actually do this stuff, okay? Yeah, goodbye.
Cheers, Lance.
Cheers, Dan.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
We're in the bar.
Cheers, viewers. We are. Dallen's Bar. Dallen made this during lockdown. It's fantastic.
It's brilliant. And it's got a kind of gazebo feel.
It has, it keeps the rain away.
Great. Nice. Great lighting. Talking of which, we've all enjoyed a bit of social over the years. I was just thinking about kind of stuff we might have done playing cricket with our mates. Because, you go back longer than me.
That Simon said, 1986 was my first. 93 you joined?
93, I'm just a pup. But I was just thinking, you must have some stories from those days.
Well, I've got one, right? So you'll know the guys involved. In fact, you know the story, but I'll do it for the benefit of the viewers. So there's four of us that play golf and have played golf regularly since 93 when you turned up. Andy, Chris, you and me. And before you joined, probably I would say 88, 89, we went on an away trip. It was a game against Old Emmanuel out near Malden, and it was a day game on a Sunday. And it's one of those where you turn up at 11, you start drinking. Anyway, cutting a long story short, we all got extremely drunk. The guy that took us there, I can't remember who it was. Drove home. and well, he might not have drove home drunk, but drove home and left us there. So there were me, Andy, and Chris. We were known as the field trip boys because we all went to the same university in Norwich,
How old were you at this point?
Oh, probably 23, something like that. So,
fresh out of uni.
Fresh out of uni. Anyway, so come on, how do we get home? We didn't really know where we were or anything like that, so you didn't have Ubers and things in those days. In Malden. And didn't know anything. Yeah, but none of us drove, whatever. Anyway, but luckily, one of the guys playing, we'll call him Ian.
That's his actual name.
He lived there. He lived in a flat round the corner with his girlfriend, and they said, "Oh, you come and crash at our place. That would be fine."
Yeah,
okay,
big
great.
flat.
Fine. Well, anyway, so we got there, and it was a tiny little one-bedroom flat. Might even have been a studio. I can't remember.
Okay.
And so there was a bed in this room, and enough room for one on one side of the bed, one on the other side of the bed, on the floor, and one at the end of the bed. So there's room for three of us. So anyway, we're all drunk enough, so it was like, there was no, having a little snack. It was like straight to bed. And it was all fine, and then I was sort of could hear Ian's girlfriend sort of say, oh come on Ian, they must be asleep by now. At which point, thankfully, the beer really did get me, and I did thankfully go to sleep. But Andy and Chris didn't, and neither did Ian. And so we'd need to get them to tell us. Well, they won't, because I think it was too horrific a memory for our innocent years,
young minds.
As but that's the sort of thing that can happen when you go on an away trip. And
your friend's only got a studio flat.
Well, he did at the time.
Brilliant. Oh, that was good, Dan. There must be a few more. We'll dig out some more of those.
We'll dig out some more. You got any?
No.
You got nothing. No. Well,
I will. I'll tell you one.
I knew you'd have something. It's important.
So when I started playing cricket in Cornwall, for Campbell, I, like you, was one of the pups, but there was two or three of my age, 16, 17-year-olds, and we were playing with guys that were legends, because I'd watched Campbell as a kid growing up, and I saw these fellas. Now I was playing cricket with them in the stiffs, in the twos. And there's a phrase in Cornwall, these were tough men in those days. They'd rather fight than eat meat.
Right.
And I was now playing cricket with them and loved every day. And so hang on, I'm having a Codger moment. What's the so one of them was telling me that when he was young, he was playing for a small club called St. Bluvius, in the Cornwall Premier League, but they played away at Penzance. Now Penzance was one of these big teams,
big knob clubs.
The opening bowler for Penzance was also opening the bowling for Cornwall. No boast, but he was regarded as a pretty respected bowler. St. Clair Cricket Ground, Penzance Street, is beautiful, but next door to it is a cemetery.
Right.
So of course, the story builds.
Bowlers' victims.
So Derek, my buddy, not the one that you see with the team on. This bloke I'm talking about could actually bowl and play. But he was batting number 11. And eventually, they whittled out St. Bluvius to the point where Derek had to come out and bat. And he walks past this fella, I don't know this bowler's name. And this bowler kind of looked down at him and sneered a little bit and said, "Oh, we'll have these cowboys out in a couple of overs." So Derek, being full of youth and verve and no fear, Derek tells us the first ball he hit smacked it right into the graveyard. Looked up to this fella and said, "Well, I'll hit your horse and get that one then." Thank you for that sympathetic laugh. There you are.
Very good, very good. Well, nice. I mean, we've ended as usual in a bar,
in the right place,
and I think.
Do you want to come back to my studio after?
I can do. It's genuine.
You'll be asleep.
I'd like that. I'll ring Andy and Chris if they fancy it too. No, I think that's probably it for this week. What do you think?
I think it's been brilliant. I think a bit different because we're in the shadow of the ashes, of course.
Yeah, we got a bit serious there.
Yeah, it got a bit heavy, but you know, normal service next week will be resumed.
Exactly. And give us your feedback. And I know that, you know, most of the viewers are codgers, but press that like button on the thing, because that might get us a few more viewers. We want a few more people to enjoy our wonderful world.
And remember, viewer, we've also got, you know, album of the week. So next week, who knows?
Who knows what it's going to be? I don't know where to go with that. I will by next week. Definitely.
Good word, Dan. Well, look.
Oh yeah. Whatever that is.
Means.
Cheers, viewer.
Cheers, viewer.